I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm gonna make sure my volume's all the way up here. Is it cutting out?
Oh, I lost. Yep. You still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You're
Do you think
there.
it's
All
my
right.
Wi-Fi?
I don't know. It happens. Maybe it's mine. It happens all the time.
Okay, well, let me know because I can tell my husband to get off.
No, it's all right. So I said it's weird to call you Shannon Lanning. I think we've texted back and forth. I haven't talked to you since your wedding, so congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you. Yes, yeah, we had the pandemic multi-step wedding. We eloped in April after we found out we were gonna have to postpone our wedding. And then we finally had the big public wedding in October where our family could finally be present. And I tell y'all, there's a silver lining to everything.
Right.
Because it was on Halloween, which y'all, if you know me, I'm like a pink glitter. And so the thought of having a Halloween wedding was like, what? But I was like, let's make the most of it. So we did it, y'all. And the venue, it was a hotel, and they happened to be hosting a fireworks show for Halloween.
Oh my gosh.
That totally timed out with our wedding. And so Bryce and I joke, my husband and I joke that we will never show our children our wedding photos because there's like fireworks and things. And it was pure coincidence. So
yeah. I must have missed the story because I remember seeing the fireworks and all that, but I didn't know it was a Halloween themed party for the hotel. That's awesome.
Yes. Yeah. So complete accident that there was fireworks, happiest accident ever. So it all worked out.
That's so cool. I'm so excited for you guys and congratulations. It was funny. I told Trisha, I was like, I had to text Shannon and ask her, is she still going by Cunningham or is she going by Lanning? What do I put on this page?
I loved Cunningham. I love Lanning. And as a teacher, y'all know our kids are used to calling us by our maiden name. And so right now I've just kind of tag teamed both. And I just tell people, like, I'm not offended by either. I'm proud of both of my names. So I'll answer to anything at this point.
That's awesome. Well, before we get into ESGI, let's talk about you as a teacher. So tell us what you're teaching, what you've taught. I know you've kind of been in some different roles. You were Teacher of the Year this past year. Congratulations. That's amazing. So tell us about you in education. What have you been up to?
Yeah, so a little bit about where I've been in education. I graduated from the University of Nebraska, and their college education program is way more rigorous than I realized. And I kind of explained in the ESGI webinar last week about all of that. I had not intended to be a teaching major, but on the first day of classes, changed my major to teaching. And I was offered a paid student teaching in Houston, Texas. Yes. And I had never visited, but I was like, paid student teaching, sign me up, let's go. So I moved to Houston, and I also took my first job there as a teacher. I was a kindergarten teacher, and I had amazing mentors there who were so impactful to the teacher that I am today, because truly it does take a village. Y'all know, especially first-year teachers. If you are a first-year teacher, I'm sending you hugs. If you know first-year teachers, send them your hugs and love, because y'all remember it's hard, right? And that's why like ESGI is so helpful. But yeah, so I taught kindergarten. Eventually made my way up to Garland, Texas, where I've taught kindergarten and first grade, and I've looped where I've kept my kids from kindergarten and moved up to first grade with them. So I got to see that growth. And now I'm an early literacy support teacher, because in the state of Texas, unfortunately, our reading score as a whole, like the entire state, we scored 48th out of the 50 states in reading. Wow. And so, I mean, it's sad that this is what, has made us open our eyes, but we're finally opening our eyes, and we're trying to invest a lot of money into the science behind reading. So if you're from Texas, you may have heard of House Bill 3. And so that's kind of where my job has been created. So I'm an early literacy support teacher with the same district in Garland that I've taught at. And so now I work on an elementary campus, but we also have pre-K. So my job specifically is to work with preschool through third grade teachers. They're planning their instruction. I go in, I model lessons. So I'm in and out of all different grade levels, but it's truly that early childhood, doing what I love. So it's been great because I get to interact with teachers and students and with literacy.
That's awesome. So ESGI fits perfectly into what you're doing now. So we know as classroom teachers, as a kindergarten teacher, we use it to progress monitor all the time, not just once and done, but we use it to keep track of so many things and drive our instruction. And I can only imagine how that's helping your current role, especially working across grade levels.
Yes, absolutely. And I think one thing that I'm just really passionate about in general is that teaching is a craft. And curriculum is always going to change. It's going to come and go, right? Like what curriculum's been purchased here, or this or that. But at the end of the day, I think the true source of knowledge is the teacher. And the teacher is truly an artist, because every year you have different kids. Throughout the year, your students have, like you said, different progress. And so we have to be that show that craftsmanship by doing that progress monitoring through ESGI to see how our students are doing. How can we curtail our teaching to best fit the needs of those students? And what I like about ESGI is that I can see how my class is doing as a whole, and I can see, ooh, all the class is kind of struggling with blending onset and rhyme. You know, as a class, our percentage wasn't so great, so that is worth my time and investment to teach a whole group lesson, as opposed to maybe I just see, hey, you know what, as a whole group, our class did really well with identifying capital letters, but I'm seeing that these 4 students are still struggling. And then I can see specifically what letters they're struggling with. And then I can be really intentional about pulling my small groups. And I just love that it's online. As much as I do, you know, I love taking notes, but like in terms of keeping it all in one place, so that way I can work on it from home. I can just log into ESGI at home. I don't have to lug a bunch of papers home with me, or grades or things like that. I can pull it up so fast.
Right. You know, Dee Dee and I were just talking about that on our podcast that we recorded today. We were talking about data collection and, you know, the whole, but did they really get it? Check for understanding. It's going in the digital space. And that's one thing I love most about ESGI is it can be such an observational progress tool as well, because you can still collect all that data like you always have if you need to, or especially in this day and age when students are turning in data from home, or you are going from classroom to classroom to classroom. But then the ease of ESGI to put that all into one place. And you don't even, I mean, most of the time it's one-on-one with the student, but in that case, it could be data collection, observation, and you can enter all their scores. But the best part, I think, is that regardless of how you do it, you get that instant feedback, the real-time results. And for you in your position, all the reports that you can share with the teachers, share with the admin, share with data teams.
Yes, absolutely. Because too, like, I understand that districts do give us curriculum and they do these things, but y'all, you are the most powerful person in the classroom. Curriculum is nothing without a teacher. Progress monitoring is nothing without a teacher, and it's what you do with that information. And I also think that teachers deserve to work smarter, not harder. And I think that ESGI truly does that. And I, you know, I'm not just saying that, like, I would only invest my time and money in things that actually are beneficial and help you work smarter, not harder. And that truly is one of those things.
That's awesome. So tell us, what have you noticed this year? Have you guys been in person all year? How's your district worked?
Yeah, so we are hybrid. So we are both face-to-face and we're online. And so it's a lot to manage. So that also is part of my role right now. I create all the virtual video lessons for writing for first grade. Wow. And so it's a lot for teachers to balance, because I don't know how all the states are, but in the state of Texas, preschool through second grade, it is like legally mandated that our lessons have to be recorded. They have to offer them asynchronously. However, third and up, they have to participate live. And so it's been really tricky for the younger grades because, you know, of course, you don't want to break FERPA or things like that. You can't just record your live lesson because there's students interacting with your lesson. So it's been really tricky, and it truly has been a balancing act. And so my hat's off to all y'all. I know a lot of you are balancing that as well. And you know, someday maybe we'll find an easy way to do it.
It's honestly, I've got to witness it firsthand, well, secondhand, I guess, from Trisha, my wife. She's teaching in a hybrid model. Our school has been in person all year, but we've been doing a half-day model because of space. We had construction going on, and there's a whole story behind it. But our kids go in person in the morning, those that choose to, and then the afternoon is reserved for virtual learning. So even kids in person are still doing some virtual because we're hitting core subjects in the morning. So teachers are teaching in person in the morning and virtual in the afternoon, not just to their in-person students teaching, you know, science and social studies and that in the afternoon, but they're also teaching virtual to the students who are completely virtual in the afternoon while recording lessons on the side too. So it's insane. I've never seen teachers work harder than they have this year. I keep saying, you know, this is the year where you realize you were meant to be a teacher because you're in it. And if you were meant to be a teacher, you wouldn't be here right now doing this kind of stuff, because it's insanely hard work. But I'm glad to hear you guys are in person making it work. What are some positives you've seen? Because we're trying to focus on that too, because everybody can name the negatives they've seen, right? But what are some things you've seen that your district has done well? Maybe you've noticed teachers doing some things that you've just been super proud to be a part of your district because of.
Yeah, I think that I'm just really proud of just how innovative teachers have been. And to, like I said, I'm just really passionate about encouraging teachers to see teaching as a craft and to get excited because, as I said, curriculum and things are constantly going to be changing, but you truly are a craft worker. So you just those decisions and things that you do. And so one really special thing that I'll share, I have a second grade teacher at my school, Katie Poteet. She did something really neat last week. It was simple, but it was just so awesome. But so the students, they all wrote their writing piece and it was time for them to publish it and share it. And so she got to thinking about how students online will change their background. And so what she did is she gave all the students poster board and she asked them to draw a background and design a setting for their story.
That's cool.
And so she hung that on the board as the students shared. And I just thought that was so cool, right? Like the mind of a teacher, how simple and easy to do. You can bust out that construction paper or whatever it is. And then the students were able to tie that into their story. They also were able to connect with the online learners because they're always changing their backgrounds. Y'all know
right.
that. But make it connect to the project, right? So if you can't beat them, join them. And that's exactly what she did. And I just thought that was cool. And she took it back to pencil and paper and drawing the background.
That is awesome. And they do love those backgrounds. I've got a little boy that's 4 years old that I'm working with virtually through an online course. He lives in New York City. I'm in Illinois, but we work together online and I'm teaching him basics. But every day I use a green screen here in my office. And every day he's like, what can I change mine to? I'm like, do whatever you want, buddy. And then we figured out the virtual filters that you can put on in Zoom. And so every day he's like, what mask are we going to put on today? And I'm like, pick one and we'll match. But it takes everything I have to get him from switching those out all throughout the lesson. So, yeah, kids love their backgrounds. That's for sure. So when you say they're recording, are they're recording as they teach or they're recording afterwards and then sending that home to the...
Typically you have to record it after because to my understanding, the way with FERPA and things like that, if you were to interact with a student, which I mean, of course, in good teaching, we're interacting, calling on things like that. If it's live, you're good to go. If it's recorded, it's no-go.
So you said third and up, they're doing live streams from the classroom?
Yes, that's what the state of Texas or the Texas Education Agency, sorry, it's like a mouthful and I've had a long day.
I just want to ask, how have teachers reacted to doing that? Because I've seen mixed reviews of teachers and parents even not wanting their children live stream because things are going to happen, right? Like behaviors will come up where there could be questions and students home and families are hearing questions asked. We're just curious how teachers have felt about doing the live stream.
Yeah, I think our teachers do a really great job of just creating a safe classroom environment and a positive classroom environment. And our school really prioritizes social emotional learning. And so we make sure that's how we start our day. And I think that really just sets the tone for smooth sailing for the rest of the day because we're automatically checking in, seeing how everyone's doing and trying to start the day off on a positive foot. And so I think that really helps.
Well, that's perfect to hear, especially in these times. I mean, to hear that's how you're starting your day, that's what I believe every single school should be doing. You know, I applaud my district where my kids go, my wife teaches. I overheard a call at the beginning of the year when we were just getting ready to go back face to face. And our assistant principal on the call said, I don't care if you pick up a textbook or a teacher's manual, anything for the first 2 weeks, you get to know these kids and make them feel like they're a part of something because they've been through, you know what, and back, right? Like they've experienced something we've never experienced in our lives and something they've never experienced before. And I was so happy as a parent and a past teacher and that just to hear someone say that was the priority, was just getting to know the kids. And I absolutely love that.
Yes, absolutely. It's a priority right now. And too, just because so many kids aren't getting that social interaction. And you know me, I'm like a nerd, so I'm always reading books. And the book that I'm reading right now is just talking about the importance of eye contact. And so how can we have that through a screen right now? And so it's just so important to try to create it right through the screen, which I know is so difficult, but especially when they want to turn their cameras off, right? But that's when it is important to get, put that hook out and get them excited to come each day, whether it's turning the backgrounds or filters or something, getting something to turn the cameras on.
Right. And it's also hard. Like you never know where to look, like to look at the camera, to look at the students, or half the kids are looking around the room. They're trying to see what their friends are doing it's tough. But yeah, I've been applauding teachers all year this year. And it's so exciting to see more and more saying, we're going back, we're going back, we're going back. And I think that just says a lot about what education is capable of. I mean, I just posted something tonight on my Facebook page that I'm so glad to live in the district we do, where our administrators and our teachers have worked endlessly and effortlessly to keep this to keep it open. I mean, they've kept it safe. They've kept it open. We've had very few cases, and most of the ones we've had have been contact cases. Yeah. So we haven't had to shut down. Even when like it spiked in our area, we stayed open, and everybody's been safe. So whatever they're doing it right. I don't know what they're doing because visitors aren't allowed in the building this year, which is breaking my heart. But it's just amazing to see the effort teachers are putting forward, and admin and districts and boards and everyone. It's definitely commendable this year.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, before we go, those of you watching that might not know why you're here with ESGI, ESGI is your one-stop shop for progress monitoring. Shannon loves it. I love it. Every teacher that uses it loves it. It saves you over 400 hours a year. We've actually tried that out and tested it. It took a while, but we figured it out. And it helps you get real-time data for feedback to students, parents, other teachers, admin, reading specialists, data teams, whoever. It's an amazing tool. And Shannon has a promo code with ESGI that will save you off your first year. But you can sign up today with no credit card required for a free 60-day trial. And when you do, use Shannon's code, which is what?
So it's shenanigans, which I know is tricky. So I'm going to type it in the comments. It's SHANNONIGANS. So basically like Shannon Iggins, but we just say shenanigans, okay?
Shenanigans. I like it. There it is in the comments. Yeah. So at checkout, enter that promo code. You'll save $60. You'll get a free 60-day trial. You'll save $50 off your first year when you decide to purchase. But yeah, thank you so much, Shannon. I know you're busy, so I'm going to let you go. Thank you, teachers, for watching. ESGIsoftware.com is where you can go to try your free trial. And then how can everyone follow you, Shannon?
You can follow me at Primary Shenanigans, and it is spelled like my name, SHANNONIGANS. So Primary Shenanigans, and you can find me there to see all the shenanigans that I'm getting into.
I love it. I love following you. It's great to see you, my friend. Can't wait till we can see each other face to face again and hang out. But until then, thank you for all you're doing, and thanks for hanging out.
Thank you, Adam.
See you. It's good to see you.